Hello, my name is Alcarion Johnson, and I am doing my informative speech on the rising costs in funerals and the benefits of prearranged services. A lot of times in life, we plan for different things. We plan for trips, vacations, babies, weddings, but one thing we don't like to talk about or plan about is death. Dying is a subject no one wants to talk about until it actually happens. And funerals, let's just put it out there, they're not cheap. Funeral costs rise every year in the United States, but one thing that can change that is by prearranging your service. What prearranging a service does is it actually locks in the price of a funeral, and whether that person died 15, 20, 30 years from that price, that is the price that funeral home has to give that family the service for. For example, my father did a pre-need on himself back in 2010. My father just passed yesterday due to cancer. So this morning when we went to the funeral home, all of his stuff was paid for. Now, I cannot show you the contract in front of me, but I can give you an example of how funerals prices rise versus what's the good thing about prearranging your service. Um, my father's service in 2010 came out to be $8,144.30 in 2010. Today, if he had not had prearranged his service with everything we were facing and everything he had picked out, we would well be paying $11,842.97. Let me give you an example of why it is a good thing to prearrange your service, not trying to scare anyone to think they're dying, but it's a good thing because it one saves your family burdens of guessing what you would like for your service, and it also takes the financial responsibility off of them. With pre-need, you can pay every month, every week, when you get paid, however you want to pay off until your balance comes down to zero. Some funeral homes, they give you payment plans to make. They let you come in at your disposal and pay whatever you want to pay, whether it's $25, $10, $50, or $100 until you reach a zero balance. Whereas if you just have a funeral and you don't have a pre-need, you have a certain number of days and a certain amount of time to get the necessary money required for a funeral service, which can cause a financial strain on your family if they're not ready to take on that responsibility. For example, in 2010, this is the casket my father picked out. It was locked in at $2,300, whereas today, when we went in to make his arrangements, that same casket would have been valued at $3,650. Like the funeral home charges that we are using, today their charge is $4,199. That's for preparation of his body, embalming him, use of their facilities, the cost of the funeral director, their staff, use of equipment, transportation is $4,199. Whereas when my father locked this in, their price was $3,000 roughly. It was $2,995. So we're just rounding it to $3,000. And that's for the same thing with embalming, preparation of the body. So pre-need, it actually does a lot by locking in a price, a lower price now than what it could be 5 or 10 years down the line, because some families now they just don't have it, and funerals they gradually get higher and higher. Funerals, they used to be $5 or $6,000, but now a service can very well easily run up to $8 or $9,000 with just the minimum things you need, with the casket, the embalming, preparation of body, use of facilities, your grave plot. That's not with flowers, that's not with program, and that's not with death certificates. That's just the minimum stuff that you need for your funeral, your casket and your burial plot and your embalming, and what outer burial container your body will be buried in. But when you prearrange your service and you pay something down, you're locking the price in. Where as if you have a prearranged service for $7,000, and you only pay 5,000 and then something happened to you, your family is only responsible for paying $2,000 versus paying 11 or 12 or $10,000 for a service. So there are benefits to prearranging your funerals because everyday funerals get higher and higher and higher.